Good morning. Well, fall is a perfect time, along with aeration and overseeding, to do a couple other things, and namely pruning back bushes that have already had their blooms spent. Here's a broadleaf hydrangea bush, and when we're doing this, we want to take it from about 5 feet, which is what it is now, about 5 feet from the center or the crown, and come in here. Now, a lot of people just focus on the outside. You can't use hedge trimmers when you're pruning a hydrangea bush effectively, but what you want to do is come in here, and I'm going to get down low so you can check. And you want to check for stuff that you know is dead and has no chance of new growth. So here's one. And so we want to go in here. I'm going to try to do this one-handed here. And we want to prune down as close as we can to the crown in order to make space and create airflow. Okay? So we're going to take out stuff that's totally dead. When you scratch it, if there's no reaction, I know it's already cut, but if you scratch it and there's no green under there, it's not going to produce wood. Now you can see from this one it was split and it's just unhealthy. So we want to create a lot of airflow in the center of the crown to allow light to come in through. So you can see in previous years the green ones that want to come up, the new shoots, to do that and to give them space, because bushes and trees can sense where there's branches. You really have to come in here and get these little guys out that have been dead maybe for a year or two and have no business being in here anymore. So well, after cutting for about 10 minutes, we were able to get a lot of dead. We were also able to get a lot of undesirable branches that were growing off really close to the ground. The problem with that is sometimes when it's in contact with the ground long enough, it'll start to create its own bush. It'll send down roots and create a whole new bush separate from the parent bush. Here's a case of where we've got one that's coming off, this guy right here. It's not really adding to the shape of it, and you want to know where to make the cut. What I always encourage people to do is, if I can get a good angle here, go into where it meets the other desirable parts and then it's coming off. So we want to make our cut right about here, in between two that are going to be a healthy source. And now what you've got is that'll heal up more quickly. We cut it at the crown, or the collar, I should say. We cut it at the collar, and then that'll promote good growth and a good shape. Here's another case where it's not touching the ground, but it's super close. Any mulch will start to send down roots and create its own bush. This one also is not really adding to the shape, overall shape. So we're going to come back in here and make a cut at a slight angle and get that out of there, and so on. It'll help the overall shape. Well, as we wrap up, this is about all we cut out of it, including a lot of dead from the base, the crown. We took it from about 5 feet down to closer to between 3 to 4 feet. And the biggest thing was moving it away from the house. Oftentimes near the house is a pathway for insects to enter, and so on. Now, the one thing I want to point out down here is, even after doing this for years of practice, and you look, there's still chances that, you know, you want to give each of these just a little quick push, and you can find perhaps even some that I might have missed, like, well, every now and then, there's one. It just makes a popping noise, you know. So the most important thing is to open up the crown so that air flows through here. That'll help prevent disease, insect damage, all sorts of things like that, and just creates a healthier plant. And the best way to do that, like I said, is not always the pruner, but just to take your hand, push, and if it snaps, it's likely dead. I think we got just about every one of them that is truly dead, because even though the wood looks aged, you know, like this obviously looks much more aged than the green, it'll still produce flowers next spring. Even like 1 year old wood and 2 year old wood. After that, it starts to die, and so it does have a short expectancy. So yeah, even that one's still alive, that I'm kind of pulling on. It's still got a lot of spring. Next year it might be dead when I do the pruning, but for now it'll help provide some life and so on. Thank you.